But David Hernandez is a contestant today,
Okay,
and that has 3.
okay, will you,
And you can one of the witnesses.
Oh, she just gave me this one.
oh, okay. Do you think it's gonna actually be Tessa?
I have a feeling it will be. But
Oh, it's right.
you've been at the courthouse long
All
enough.
right, and Sharon,
Yes, ma'am.
your client is an inmate?
Yes,
Okay, so as soon as she comes out, we'll take you up.
thank you. Rebecca Reyes and then who else?
Second is going to be Rhonda Butler. They're going to be Savannah. I guess I should give away.
Yes.
Use that protective order on some CPS records on Foncho. Thank you, Judge.
Put your hands together. Be the ceiling and start counting. Find something second. I do that sometimes. That's your basic.
Can I see the file on Hughes, please? Mr. Hughes, if you come forward.
Sure.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, which day are we calling this back?
Thursday, Judge.
All right, we're gonna come back on Thursday. Your attorney is actually not in the county.
Okay.
So we're gonna come back on Thursday, the 26th. Ms. Ferguson will give you the reset form. Thank you for your patience.
I was like confused about the rest of it. No, it's okay. So we'll have to be following that.
Ryan Berman. I'm assuming this person has already left.
Uh-oh. Oh, you know what, Judge? I want to say this is that person who's on that weird, like, Isn't this the one that Valentine's dealing with, like the conviction integrity unit or something like that? Okay. If I remember correctly. Okay.
All right, thank you.
Get it in the email?
Yeah.
Don't have my email?
She should have your email this year coming in. Oh, yeah. You can contact them. If not, call the court. In the morning, call them and they'll send it to you. Okay?
Me too. It's so true.
The charges for this case. Okay, all right, thank you. To Norma and ask her to assign the attorneys to that. Ryan, on 2020 CR 3291, defense has filed a motion for continuance. Before we set it, is the state going to have any objection for that continuance?
Pull it up.
It's 2020 CR 3291.
3291.
Yes. Defense is asking for a continuance.
We don't have a problem with that, Judge.
Okay. All right. Have her set it, then it can go in the system. And when you get a chance, can you see if Bud Green now is available to come in? And remember, what date are you calling Morales back?
No.
It says on here that Mr. Hyatt is ill.
Would you like to start?
All right, could I see Mr. Mario Morales? Is he in the box?
I don't see him.
All right.
Morales? You want to go back? Get some more.
Okay. All right, state, that's going to be reset for July 26th. The defense attorney is ill.
Okay.
And it will be separate, and that's the jury trial date.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, is Mr. Newman in the box? All right, we'll take that matter up. And this is criminal trauma vision. All right, the court is calling 2022 CR 2708, State of Texas versus Demetria Newman. That parties announced for the record for the state,
Ryan Grimmer for the state of Texas.
for the defense.
Sharon Thorne for the defendant, Your Honor.
And Mr. Newman, how do you pronounce your first name? Demetria. Defense, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Newman, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We are, Judge.
All right, Mr. Newman, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in all the appropriate places? All right, I'm gonna need you to speak up for me so that the court reporter can hear, okay? Did you understand you're charged with the burglary of a building with intent to commit theft? That's a state jail felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call, and the right to remain silent. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
By entering this plea bargain agreement, you are giving up those rights. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of this offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Newman, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Thorne, I see that the attorney that was listed was Jeremy Best, and you scratched through that. So are you the attorney on this case?
Yes, Your Honor. I was appointed probably about 3 weeks ago. I'm not quite sure why he withdrew, but I was appointed. by this
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that there was no mistake in the paperwork. All right, the court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. I'm showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, according to the plea bargain agreement, your punishment is to be assessed at 6 months in the state jail facility. And the state opposes, are there applications or no?
No application, Your Honor.
All right. So this document needs to be changed
That
to
doesn't
reflect.
sound right. I believe it's no application
Yes.
where it's an agreed amount of time.
And this one, if you could
Yes.
initial. And you understand that there's, that your punishment is to be assessed at 6 months in the state jail facility. There is no application for community supervision or deferred adjudication. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
It is, Judge.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you cite it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by citing that, you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then, Mr. Newman, to the offense is charged in the indictment. How do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence to support the defendant's plea.
Yes, Judge. State would offer state's exhibit number 1.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Newman, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand it and did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will not be any live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your
Yes, I
client?
would, Your Honor. My client has 142 days in the Bexar County Jail. We were asking that you give that credit to him against the 6 months that he's been going to be assessed.
So, Mr. Newman, why were you in the library?
It was cold outside, and I think when I went up to the library, it was like already open, but it was like a misty. That's the person already down on the floor, and I had a blanket.
Okay, you gotta speak up so people can hear you.
I see somebody laying on the floor, and I walked over, and I was like, "It's cold outside. You ain't going upstairs or nothing." So I just opened it and went upstairs, but more stuff.
All right, there's a matter of you taking DVDs too. Do you have employment before this happened? Do you have children?
Yes, ma'am.
What are their ages?
6, 7, and like 15.
All right, who are they with?
The mom.
And I'm assuming because you don't have employment, you're not supporting them, right?
No.
All right, so here's the thing. I'm gonna follow your agreement, but you're gonna have to get employment. You can't go into buildings when buildings are closed. You can be at the library and inside the library when it's hours. You can't be after hours. You can't be taking things that do not belong to you. You understand? If there's a mental health issue or if there's a drug issue, which maybe there is from what I'm reading, there are plenty of places that will help you for free. But if you continue the way you're continuing, 1 or 2 things gonna happen. You're gonna break into the wrong place. Somebody may try to defend their property. or you may take some drugs and get a hold of some bad drugs. You're gonna have to start doing better. And when you have children, as I told other people, your children are not allowed to work. They're child labor laws. Now, if they're actresses or actors, they still have times that they're allowed to work. You can't have children and then not financially support them. Because right now, if it were up to you, your children would not be eating. Your children would not have a roof over their head. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So you're gonna have to do better. All right, I'm gonna follow your agreement, find you guilty, sentence you to 6 months in the state jail facility, give you credit for any time served. Is there anything else with regards to sentencing? Next, I'm gonna show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement and because I followed your plea bargain agreement and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you. Do better.
Yes, ma'am.
Your children
Honor.
need you.
Have you excused?
Yes. Are they ready on this? All right. Ms. Guerrero, you're here on Adam Gonzalez.
Yes, you are. Mr. Gonzalez showed up, Judge.
Oh, okay. All right, thanks.
Can I have a moment to talk to you?
Yes. Ms. Guerrero, just whenever you're ready to approach, just go to the clerk and she'll put the file back up.
Thank you.
This one, now it needs to sign a new attorney. Are the parties ready on 1 Montemere? All right. Court is calling 2021 CR 10593, State of Texas versus Juan Montemere. We're going to have parties announced for the record.
Michael Villarreal, the state.
William Davidson, Juan Montemayor.
And are you Mr. Montemere? All right. We're here today for sentencing. The defendant entered a plea of no contest on March 28th and filed for an application for deferred adjudication. According to the plea bargaining agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 6 years in the prison. There's a $1,500 fine and the state is remaining silent on your application. And there's Chapter 62 compliance and no contact with the complainant. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report?
The state has, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections to the PSI report? State,
None. I'm sorry.
No, Your Honor.
defense?
None.
All right, the state is silent, so the defense, you may proceed.
Your Honor, I have 3 letters which I've already shown to the state and I approached.
Yes, any objections, state?
No, Your Honor, we've Mr. Davidson previously provided them to us and have been able to review them and see that's not there.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. I just give me a moment to read this. All right, I've read them, Mr. Davidson.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
I do have 3 witnesses to provide very brief character testimony.
All right. If you call your first witness.
Yes, Your Honor. Ramona Salinas.
Hello. If you could raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your hand, and I'm gonna need you to keep your voice up for me if you can. All right, if you can state your name for the record.
Ramona Salinas.
Vince?
Yes, Your Honor. Ramona, how do you know Mr. Montmeyer?
He is my first cousin
And how long have you known him?
all my life.
And during this time that you've known him, has he ever been abusive to you?
Never.
Okay. And do you know whether or not he's ever gotten in trouble with the law?
Yes.
And what do you know about that?
Childhood years, he was young too. Drug related.
Okay. And as far as people you know, and I'm not talking about the person in this case at all, but anybody else that you know, has my client been disrespectful around them?
Not that I know.
Pass with the Sean.
Say no questions.
All right, thank you for coming in. You may call your next witness. You can take a seat.
Thank you. Sandra Galindo.
Say the last name again?
Sandra Galindo.
If you could raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, you can lower your hand. State your name for the record, please.
Sandra Galindo.
All right, defense.
Ms. Galindo, I'm not going to ask you any questions about this particular case. I'm just going to ask you some other questions. What is your relation to Juan?
I'm his baby sister.
Okay, and so did you grow up with him?
Yes.
And during this time that you did grow up with him, how did he treat you?
Good. He treated me just fine.
What do you mean by that?
Excuse me?
What do you mean by good?
Well, he raised me since my father divorced my mom.
Okay. And as far as any kind of previous criminal convictions or anything like that, do you know anything about that? with respect to him?
Well, I was like 13 when that happened, but I did
Okay. You know what it was related to?
drugs.
And is there anything you have that you would like to tell the judge about my client, but not talk about this case?
Well, yes, he was like a father figure to us. So he was more than a father because he was a brother too. And he never did anything to me in any way, to mistreat me. Anyway.
Thank you. Pass the witness.
I have no questions.
All right, thank you. Thank you for coming. You can call your next witness.
Ray Salinas. Or is it Roy Salinas? Is it Roy?
All right, Mr. Salinas, if you can come forward, please. Can you raise your right hand? Do Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand, and I'm gonna need for you to speak up so that the court reporter, and so that I can hear you. Could you state your name for the record?
Roy Salinas.
All right, thank you. Defense?
How do you know Juan Montemayor?
He's a mom's first cousin.
Okay, speak up so the court reporter can hear you. In fact, turn towards her a little bit.
My mother's first cousin.
Did you know him a long period of time?
I've known him from childhood.
Okay. During that time, has he treated you respectfully?
Never.
He's never treated you
Oh,
respectfully?
yes, yes. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I know you're a little bit nervous, but make sure you just listen to the question, okay?
Yes. That was a little bit funny, but, if this judge were to put my client on probation, and she can do that if she wants to, you think that he would do what he's told to do? In other words, if he were told to stay home on GPS, if he were told to pay prices for being on probation, things like that, do you believe he would do it?
Absolutely.
And do you have anything else that you would like to add to help this judge make a decision, not relating to this particular case, but just to his character in general?
Yes, I don't know in childhood. He's always respected me. My family, my sister, my mother has been very respectful.
That's all I have, Your Honor.
Oh, thank you. All right, do you have any further witnesses?
None, Your Honor.
All right, then the court will hear argument. As I stated, the state is silent.
Okay. Your Honor, my client stands before this court and he stands in sorrow for whatever, what he did in this particular case. He spent a good 22 years of his life, from what I understand, in federal custody on a drug case some years ago. His present health is not good, to say the least. He's had a number of strokes, and some of these family members have told me he's got dementia, but I don't, I'm not a doctor. I can't testify to that. He's asking this court for some sort of deferred adjudication. He's 74 years old. If he gets deferred, he's going to be on a GPS, I know, and so he could be put away at any time if he were to violate that in any way.
All right, so did your client have this condition in 2021? As far as the medical issues?
All of your medical issues, did they exist back in 2021?
Yes.
Including being in the wheelchair?
Yes. Oh, yes. I've been like this. I've been like this since 19.
All right, let me have you raise your right hand. And that's the only question I'm going to ask you. And you've waived your right to remain silent by entering this plea. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, you can lower your hand. Could you state your name, please?
Juan Jose Montemayor.
All right, so you've been in the wheelchair since 2021.
Yes, ma'am.
So when this happened, you were in a wheelchair.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and you've had these medical conditions in 2021.
Yes.
And when this happened, you had those medical conditions?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, I don't have any other questions.
I just wanted to add this, Your Honor, since you did ask about the wheelchair. From what I understand, he was shot in the back, and it was some sort of,
1978.
it says 1978.
Been like this.
That's all I have, Your Honor.
All right. All right, the court is going to deny the application, find you guilty, sentence you to 6 years in prison, give you credit for any time served. There's a $1,500 fine, time and money to run concurrent. There's Chapter 62 compliance, and there's to be no contact with the complainant. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you understand that? Yes. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it? All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I call it your plea bargain agreement, And because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? All right. Is there any victim impact?
No, Judge.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Davidson.
Yeah, speak to him before he's taken away.
Yes. Yes. All right, Mr. To the following Morales, please. Mario Morales? Yes. Your attorney is not here today. Your attorney has a medical issue. So we're going to bring you back for jury trial on July 26th, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
And that will be July 26th, and that will be at 9 a.m.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. Also, Mr. Morales, you'll be brought over for trial dressed in whatever clothing you have at the jail. So if you want to appear in some other attire, you need to contact your attorney.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. If anyone else is ready, if you'll just approach the clerk. And Rebecca, you are with us today. All right, thank you. Oh, look, could you pull that file from me, please? It's not on today. Sorry. a setting for this case. Yes.
June 6th,
All right, thank you.
Yes.
Judge, can we approach,
Yes.
like approach?
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah, I'm nervous. I never know.
Is this off the
which way to
record?
do it.
Yes.
All right, just a minute.
Oh, do you want the?
Yes, and if you place me on mute, please. All right. We're going to proceed on 2019 CR 9038, Shamarcus Porter. Defense, are you ready to proceed?
We are, Judge.
All right, so this is going to, jury trial is going to happen today at 3. So I want to make sure that you all are ready because we're going to start with jury selection at 3 today. Does everyone understand?
Yes, Judge, and based on that, we'll be tendering a motion.
All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And Adam Gonzalez.
I'm ready, Your Honor.
Right, who is the prosecutor on Adam Gonzalez?
That's me, Judge.
Court, just one moment. Court is calling 2021 CR 0392, State of Texas versus Adam Isaac Gonzalez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Ryan Grimmer for the state of Texas.
Monica Guerrero for Mr. Adam Gonzalez, and he's present as well. We're ready.
All right. And are you Mr. Gonzalez?
Okay.
All right, you entered a plea on March 28th of no contest. The state waived the enhancement without objection. You applied for deferred adjudication. According to the plea bargaining agreement, punishments to be assessed at a cap of 7 years in the prison. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. The state is opposed to your application for deferred adjudication. And there's restitution and no contact orders as a part of your agreement. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report state?
Yes, Judge.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections to the PSI report state?
None.
Defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right, state, do you have any witnesses?
No, Judge. Just argument.
Defense, any witnesses?
No, Your Honor, just argument.
All right, then state you're opposed.
Yes, Judge. We would be opposed to his application for deferred, Judge. As you're well aware, you've read the steps in this particular case, Judge. This is a small food mart in an area of town that they provide services to the public there. Mr. Gonzalez took it upon himself to go in there with a handgun to a place that he lives right next to and place the person who worked there, who was working for a living, under fear while he stole approximately $3,000 from him. Judge, the store clerk identified Mr. Gonzalez because he recognizes him and his brother from the neighborhood, and Mr. Gonzalez was found nearby. He has criminal history dating back to the mid-1990s. He has a gang affiliation. I think in this case, Judge, he deserves to go to prison. I don't think that deferred adjudication would be appropriate in this case. He takes no responsibility for what happened that day. He takes no responsibility for any drug issues he has. We believe it's a prison case that he deserves to go to prison on.
All right, defense.
On behalf of my client, Judge, if the court will note in the PSI that his lost any type of criminal activity or any type of intervention hasn't been part of his life since the latest was 2008, and that was a misdemeanor, and 1994 for felonies when he was super young, and was revoked, which would be now state jail felonies, to 10 years in prison. He's tried to maintain sobriety. He hasn't used drugs in a long time. He hasn't had any drinks. And he's trying to help his mother, who is now elderly. He has a child that's 6 years old. He hasn't been able to work regularly because he's on full GPS. So he hasn't been able to get money to pay his child support, which he's in arrears for. He would like the opportunity to show the court that he can complete deferred adjudication, that his life has changed since the 90s. And his mom needs him. She would have been here, but she has disabilities and she's working at a pinata shop. So she couldn't just leave to come here. She does want him home. He hasn't had any violations while he's been on GPS, and it's been nearly 2 years. So we're asking that the court gives him a chance to be on this deferred adjudication, Judge.
All right, is there anything you wish to say, Mr. Gonzalez?
No, ma'am.
Court's going to deny the application. There's a punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 7 years. The court is finding you guilty. Would parties like to speak to the cap?
Yes, Your Honor. Well, I guess the state gets to go first.
We believe 7 is appropriate, Judge. His conduct is escalating. This is the most serious offense he has. We believe 7 years is appropriate. He was facing up to life in prison on this case. The plea agreement already reduced his exposure all the way down to 7. We believe 7 is appropriate.
And Judge, we're asking for the minimum. This was a case that he felt was very tribal, and he's indicated to me that it may be somebody else in the family that was not him. However, we understood that he was going to come in and accept responsibility, and we're asking for the minimum.
All right, the court is going to follow your agreement, sentence you to 7 years in the prison. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. Does anyone want to speak to restitution? I have a restitution amount in here of $3,000. That's what was agreed to. So restitution of $3,000 to La Tienda, TIENDA Food Mart. No contact with Tharun, THARUN, Kandada, KANDADA, or La Tienda Food Mart at 627 Couples. I'm going to show you a document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
She's asking if you signed the papers. Tell her what you want to.
Yes, did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it? It's a trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal. Your signature is here.
Yeah.
All right, because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what the definition of a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to your attorney. Do you understand?
Yeah.
All right.
Uh,
Yes.
Is there any way that I can just take it to trial?
All right, Mr. Gonzalez,
Yes, ma'am.
you entered into a plea bargain agreement, and according to that plea bargain agreement, your punishment was to be assessed at cap of 7 years. I followed your plea bargain agreement. So you're going to prison for 7 years. You've been found guilty. You're given credit for any time served. Do you understand?
Right.
All right, good luck to you.
So that's not-
All right, anyone else ready? Yes. If I could be on mute, please.
May I be excused, Judge?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good
Oh,
day.
I want to ask you a question.
Yes.
I was hired on the case and I need to file some motions that are under Iggy. Do I need to have a hearing first on that?
No, just file your motions, and if there's a hearing, what usually ends up happening, if it's not ex parte, I mean, if it's ex parte, of course, I won't do anything with the other side. But if it's just a motion, if it's something that you and the state are agreed to, then I'll sign it, or if it's something that I reviewed it, and I know, you know, the state has said there's not gonna be any objections, then I'll just sign it.
Okay.
So just file it, and then I'll review it, and if we need to put it on the docket, I'll have Ms. Ferguson call you.
All right, thank you so much.
You're welcome, have a great one. Oh, Mr. Martinez, make sure you don't leave, because I need to discuss one other matter with you.
Okay, Judge.
Judge, I'm so bummed I'm not going to be able to work with that expert. But she's amazing.
Oh, wow. You
So-
should let everyone know.
I will. And maybe next time then.
Okay, they are having a water challenge.
Yes, I saw that.
I think, you know, the 187, we should join the water challenge.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
What kind of challenge?
What time, or when does it start?
It starts June 1st.
What kind of challenge?
Water, like, and you get a cup.
You know how much water I drink? And how much I put a bowl because I don't get to go to the restaurant.
Well, it looks here that we should be drinking 64 ounces a day.
Cake.
Brenda, when are they going to have a dessert challenge? You know,
That's how we win.
I'm waiting for that. We will win that.
Hands down.
Yeah. Like the dessert challenge.
I
The
could do-
187, we ate 3 cakes today. Just joking, I haven't had anything sweet.
No, we finished 3 trays of cookies.
Yes, we can find 3 trays of it.
That must be like 2 weeks.
No, it was not.
Okay, a week.
If she's still there, she's
You haven't seen me at my best.
Do you have an MTR? I do. Okay, we'll talk to you, or you know what, I can show you whatever I don't have it. What's your guys' name?
You working out?
Oh, yeah. I have this stuff here.
I'll do it.
Oh, you know what, but it's gonna be with these guys. So it's gonna solve it.
Oh, yeah.
Talk to Mike, Mike should get this.
I've been here all day. In the building, right? A little bit more ago.
Brenda, Rebecca missed us.
I know, she had to come back. And now she's gotta come back again. Hi.
My mom already missed you. Yes. I will. Don't be a stranger. And we'll see you back in June for the event. Okay. We'll see you then. Okay.
If you have
Oh, here you go, right.
other option.
Yeah.
Mark out silence. For- Hostility or vague. Is that same offer, recommending? Yeah, good to see you. Oh.
Said he's available today.
What's going on?
He's available. He hasn't answered my phone.
Oh, he does have the issue with his wife. All right. Which cases does he have with us?
Guevara. Robert Guevara.
And he has someone else too.
You have three of them.
That's the only defendant? Yeah.
Yes, can I have that?
Mr. Guevara, if you could come up, please. Oh, just stand right there. Yes, that's okay. Mr. Guevara, your attorney has received all the discovery. We're gonna call you back for a different date. Your attorney is unavailable today due to medical issues, okay?
His wife is in.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so Ms. Ferguson, can we recall Mr. Guevara? We're gonna recall you in 2 weeks to see where we are. So we can call him sometime in June.
I can do June 6th or 7th.
All right, so we're gonna recall you on, let's do June 6th.
June 6th.
Yes. All right, thank you for your
Oh,
patience.
yeah, that's a question.
Yes,
I'm gonna be able to bond out.
you'll have to talk to your attorney about that, okay?
All right.
Just have a seat, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. And Norma, do you know the status on Steven Sancho and Impact? Have they started?
No, he's still on call.
Okay. Can you keep track of that, because if it doesn't go, then we need to set that immediately for trial.
Good afternoon, Judge.
Good afternoon.
We'd like to get another trial setting or a reset on Jesse Salinas.
All right, what is happening?
We received another offer from the state. We did not accept. So
All right, Mr. Jesse Salinas.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Ferguson or Mr. Salinas, I need a plea deadline date. And after this date, Mr. Salinas, you'll have your jury trial set if you choose not to accept, you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
But since the state has made an offer to you today, I don't like for people to answer the day that it's been given, you understand?
Yes.
So you can have a chance to discuss it in more detail with your attorney and make an informed decision.
You can come back on the 21st.
June 21st?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, June 21st. Let me see what that is. Just 1 second. Then do you want to do it on June 20th? And that will
No,
be,
that's okay.
oh, it is. That's true. All right, so June 21st is going to be your plea deadline date and your jury trial date. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, we appear to work on every day, even on Saturdays. All right, so we're going to bring you back on June 21st. And the
Thank
court
you.
coordinator will give you a reset form. Just one, give me 1 minute. Let me find this on the docket.
Please go on.
Thank you. Yes,
You wanted me to touch base with you on some other issue?
yes. On Henry Peterson, we did the violation report this morning. Was it Peterson? No, it was not. What was the?
I'm Robert Andrade.
Andrade, yes. Could I see the motion on Andrade? I put a specific day for when it was to go into effect, but after you left, the prosecutor was able to get in touch with the complainant. And so she is not living in Converse. That was assumed. So if you could have your client either come back tomorrow or this afternoon, so we can figure out what's happening, because I don't want there to be a situation. I need the motion. I don't want there to be a situation where he's violating, and he doesn't realize he's violating.
Understood.
Right.
Judge, we can do it in the morning. Did you want that in person or by Zoom, or does it matter?
Oh, we're in person
Okay,
tomorrow, yes.
so pretty sure that I'm here tomorrow.
No, we need to pull the one that I signed.
Oh, you signed earlier?
Yes.
Might as well get it here tomorrow.
All right, then let's do tomorrow morning, and we'll do tomorrow morning at 9:30, because I have to qualify jurors.
Understood. Judge, because she's on full GPS, will that setting be put on the system so that they'll know that we're going to court?
Yes,
We
it
had a
will be
really hard
placed
time
on the
getting here
system.
today. Yes.
Okay, and then Mr. Villarreal,
Yes, Judge.
on Robert Andrade,
Yes, ma'am.
the court received information after Mr. Martinez had left. Everybody assumed that the complainant was in University City. She's not in University City. So I just want to make sure before any of this is placed in the system that his client is aware of certain things, so I can craft my order to reflect that she's not in University.
Yes, Judge.
All right, thank you.
It'll be recalled tomorrow.
Yes, it'll be recalled tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
This one, can you print out another? Yes, I just print out the motion there. Thank you. No, and Johnny is coming back tomorrow.
Tell you.
No. Why is that? Don't have that.
Just a second.
Sure. All right, thank you.
Montoya?
Sure.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Brett, do you know what date I gave Mr. Peterson for compliance? That was the violation report, yes. See, I think it was June 3rd, but I could be wrong. Ryan, do you remember what date I gave Mr. Peterson to obtain compliance?
No, I think I didn't write it down.
I think it was June.
I didn't write it down.
Okay. I want to say it's June, but yes. Oh, Peterson, 2022-3176. I want to say it's June 3rd.
That sounds about right.
Oh, I put it up there.
There's the one with Nathan's.
Yeah.
Henry.
Yeah, it's a big one. PTG, wasn't
No, no, it was a bond issue.
No. Yes, I believe I did this. So you just make sure that I told him what he heard.
Every time you come in or?
No, just call him in and make sure my memory is correct. She is out there and said nothing ever happened. She's like, fine. But she has her appointment today at 2. So I'm gonna see how that goes. But her mom did send me this picture today.
Okay.
And it says Auntie's Bessie. Yes. Mackenzie. Yes. Yes. Okay. Okay. But you know, her child, she was so chubby, I think there was a lot of cheating going on. Yeah. She's 5 months. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm gonna call her as soon as I think they finish with this pediatrician appointment. Because I mean, that was terrifying. Yes. All right, and Norma, do you know where Ed Bartholomew is?
Remember,
All right, can I see the following, more? Yes.
On the 24th. You want to come back on the 25th? Like, on the testimony on the 24th.
Okay, so we're coming back on the 24th.
Yeah.
All right, George Moore, where is he? Did he even show up?
No, he did not. Yes, he has to show up. I think.
Okay. All right, we'll come back on the 24th. And then Rangel. Can you look up in the system, Lupe, and see if Rangel, does he have a bond? Has he been remanded without bond?
He's a fugitive, Judge. Ran with that bond.
All right, can I see his file? All right, Norman, which date are you giving him?
I can do the 27th.
Okay. And I notated in the file that he's a fugitive. All right, and then we have, all right, can I see the file on Lujan? And Norma, Lujan, what's happening with that with Mr. Mark McKay?
I know he has some, he's a fugitive of a couple of the cases, and he never showed up.
All right, let's see if he's a fugitive on this one.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, that's right, he's in custody. He wanted to, only the person you know.
All right, let's see if Mr. McKay is. Okay, so
Your
here's
request. No, no,
all right. And then Roberto Martinez. You can- Don't call it back, but just put it, we're gonna see if they can get the attorney. here. All right, Ms. Ferguson, what about Roberto Martinez? And could you also pull Garnica? Garnica. Antoinette Garnica.
I know, is Mark available? He's got his here. Yeah, he was in jail. She brought him over. Yeah.
Mhm. Oh, this is coming, you can just file this away. That one's coming back on the 24th tomorrow.
Yeah. Deputy's brought him over, so he's here. Are you able to stop by? Yes. Yes, we know. Okay. Thank you. Bye. Mark's on his way.
All right, and then Servando Salinas with Martin Guerra.
I texted Mark, I mean, Martin. See if he texted him.
Did you pull Martinez for James Hunt? It's Roberto, oh, this is it, Roberto Martinez. And then can you pull Eloy Santoria? And Servando Salinas. Servando Salinas should not be.
I'll be fine.
That should just be with the regular. We haven't given him a date, correct? Oh, okay, I have it. I'm sorry. Yes, is that, these are the only files that are remaining, the ones that I have?
Yes.
Okay.
And then last one, Lujan.
All right, if you're passing Lujan. Mhm. All right. Oh, see, that's a good thing. boxes.
So that's the boy, right?
Yes.
Okay.
You see the photo?
Just take me to test.
To probation, I'm going to send you a chat.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, the court is calling 2020. Court is calling 2020 CR 10846W, State of Texas versus Eloy Santoya. May I have parties announced for the record?
Michael Villarreal for the state.
John Hector Rogers Jr. for the defense.
And are you Mr. Santoya?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Santoya, I'm going to show you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision, and states motion to supplement pending motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke probation. Did you review those documents with your attorney? Did you understand them?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you the same Eloy Santoya Jr. who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2020 CR 10846W for the offense of assault of a pregnant person on November 6, 2020 for a term of 2 years? Is that you?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, state.
Violated condition number 5 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant Eloy Santoya Jr. did then and there failed to report to the supervision officer as directed for the month of December 2021 in violation of condition number 5.
How do you plead to that, true or not true? I'm going to need you to speak up.
True, ma'am.
All right, state.
And the state would waive and abandon the remaining obligations.
Any objection?
None, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Santoya, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 5, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 5?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the court will find violation of condition number 5 true. Is there an agreement?
Yes, Your Honor. The agreement is to grant the state's motion, enter an adjudication of guilt and assess punishment at 2 years confinement in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice and an affirmative finding of daily violence.
Is that the agreement?
It is, Your Honor, along with obviously giving him credit for the time he's already served.
All right, and Mr. Santoya, are you asking the court to follow that agreement?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes, ma'am.
Probation, do you know if he paid the $100 to an approved family violence center?
Let me check on that, Judge.
Mr. Santoya, did you pay the $100?
No, ma'am, I didn't.
Your Honor, there's no indication that he did.
All right, thank you. All right, the court will follow your agreement. The court is finding you guilty. The court will sentence you to 2 years in the prison. Of course, revocation is being granted. Give you credit for any time served. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. There's to be $100 to an approved family violence center in the Code of Criminal Procedure 42A.504. Is there anything with regards to sentencing from either side?
Nothing further from the state.
Nothing for you.
Mr. Santoya, I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor, I signed it.
All right, because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a felony conviction and because this is an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to consult with an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you. We can go off the record. Mr. Santoya, you're gonna have to do better, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, good luck to you.
Appreciate it.
Judge Martin said he's on the way.
All right, thank you. All right, family violence.
I didn't do it.
You didn't do it, okay. I'm gonna send this back, this violation report back, of course, to the officer because the offense in it is not correct. And I don't know if there's an offense out there that I'm unaware of.
Repeat with the first part. I'm sorry, Judge. I was
Oh.
I'm not connecting.
No problem. On the violation report,
Mhm.
they have it listed as a class A misdemeanor. But we're in felony court. And I thought at first maybe he had entered a plea to a misdemeanor, but he hasn't. So I don't know if there's something out there that I'm unaware of.
Can I just pull up the set real quick?
Yes.
Thank you. I recommend you find a new job. That's not 25. The first one was on. Oh. Oh, okay. Yeah, that offense stated for robbing. He has a terrorist pending, but not for that bill.
All right, thank you. I'll send a note to them.
You're so thorough, Judge.
I try to be.
Yeah.
He's a great sister. She might be in the back. Yeah. secondary.
Have we heard back? Yeah.
No, but the HR guy. told me he will. So he responded, well. It means to accept an order, usually transmitted over radio.
I think local, I think.
Yeah, no, he said, well,
Well, yeah.
but apparently that's a no word. And I was like, just say okay, or like.
Yes,
will
okay,
do.
sure.
Like, for sure, like something I understand.
Where's the delay? Sorry.
I don't think so. All the info I have.
I mean,
Their case pending over there.
All right, and Michael, since you're already walking up here,
yes, ma'am.
one of these is for criminal trial, and I think one may be for you all.
Is he still on parole? Or is he still? Oh, someone's got cheese. That's easy.
Is this your copy, Judge?
Yes.
I have this one and I talked to Kelly today. I just have to look over it.
Sure, no problem. That's the noise, right?
But the other one I talked for.
I mean, I do have, I mean, this is what I have, so county Bexar. But I have about 5 years back. Yes.
Okay, here's this. I just put a notation in that the order is not being placed in the system yet.
Right, okay.
Yeah, we're just gonna recall it for tomorrow.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, this should be in the office door.
Yes.
It looks like this is an MTR and family agreed to the $7,000 amount already.
Okay. All right, so it's already in the system?
It's in our system. It shows Michelle's agreed to it.
Okay, all right, let me see.
If you need anything from me, I can do it, but it shows it's in.
All right, thank you. This is already in the system. If you can check. Please. Yeah, you'll get that tomorrow.
Yeah, so Jonathan. Brandon, right? David Rosas.
Yeah, on that one.
Brenda. Brenda.
Yes.
It's just like they're so tiny. I know it's a check up, but still, she's so tiny. And I'm like, yeah, she does. I don't know if she hasn't done any shots to her. It says Auntie's Bessie. So I'm like, yeah. I'm ready. Well, that was, but her cheeks, like this cheek looks like it's a little bit bigger than the other. Yeah. So I'm imagining teeth was coming in. But I'm just saying all gums.
Well, they haven't broken through yet. Judge.
On this
This is the kid that didn't, or the person that did not show up for the
Yes.
compliance hearing. Can you just run out, do you want us to file a VRMTR because it expires next month?
No, yes, we're just gonna follow MTR, giving him a chance to. So we'll follow MTR.
Yeah, that's what I was like, I don't know if you just want to write it on the bottom, since that one's already a signed copy from the original, just date it and then just put file VRMTR, no show for compliance, and we'll do that. Scan it over, let them know. Thank you, John.
You're welcome.
Too bad. Love it. Great observation. The opportunity of it. That's it, yeah. I had it at 5:30. Oh, so it's not this morning, but no, I had it at 5:30. I want to some coffee, yes. Technically, it wasn't until like 6. I did. This was such a- no, I don't like it. Yeah, it's better. It's impressive. Yes. Yeah. So like I rate food and then I rate
Different than ours.
the problem is that I think I'm just need to have
If you want to.
This one you signed, it's been approved already.
You say no.
It's old in the morning or something.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you're here the week morning. I'm awake. I. don't have to work yet. So, why-
I don't know.
Well, I went to bed, so. So I have seen it before. That makes you feel good. I guess, thanks. It has to be around. Like, was. I worked on the. Well. I was having something replaced in the house, so I think.
Yes. Okay.
You should be back in.
Okay. Cynthia, did you receive the thing from the community? I just sent you a photo. Yes, she's at the doctor's office. No, she's at the doctor's office. I sent you another photo. It's our one at her pediatrician appointment.
You'll come back on.
Okay, all right, thanks.
I think he had played for this PSC. It's a lot.
So does he. I'm just letting you know. I just copied and pasted. Is this second?
So, hey, did you talk to him about the video?
Looked at each other pretty hard. A little bit. Were they,
I think a lot of
on the same page, or they?
Okay. All right. Okay, all right, no problem. Did they mention whether she's going to Minnesota or something?
This is a three downstairs. Don't listen to that.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, yeah, send me a photo. I'm gonna see, we're gonna end up seeing a dermatologist or something when I get home.
I was number one for a person.
All right, thanks.
I wonder what all-
All right, she looks so cute.
Because she was like, I'm just doing this, just taking it. Where are y'all gonna be? I'll be here either way, so.
Hey, sorry, one last thing. So did they give her shots or anything today? Okay, all right, awesome. All right, I can't wait to meet the baby. Okay. All right, take it easy. Okay, bye. Brenda, they're talking about it, they have their teeth. I've never heard of that in my life.
Yeah.
I was like, you should think you tried that. That wasn't even good.
I'm sorry.
Like diarrhea.
Yeah, no.
Exactly.
No, she didn't have diarrhea or anything. She's like pretty
Guess
regular.
what? I'm going home
Yeah.
anyway. Class.
Poor thing.
It sounds like. I'm gonna have to go there.
Judge,
Yes.
I wasn't here for it. And so can you help me decipher on the docket notes? I think Judge, or Nora handed you the file.
Pedro Martinez?
Yeah.
Cover to put the camera.
Yes,
I
please.
just need to
All right, court is calling 2016 CR 9009, State of Texas versus Sabando Salinas. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Brian Gerber for the state of Texas.
Martin Guerra, attorney for Servando Salinas.
All right, and are you Mr. Salinas?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Salinas, I'm going to show you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision and First Amendment Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review those documents with your attorney? Did you understand them?
Yes, Judge.
Are you the same Servando Salinas, AKA Servando Jacob Salinas, who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2016 CR 9009
Yes, ma'am.
for the offense of assault family second on July 26, 2017 for a period of 5 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
Right, state?
Yes, Judge, off the amended MTR, Judge, violated condition number 5 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant, Servando Salinas, did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of September, October, and November 2019 in violation of condition number 5.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
We'd waive the remaining conditions, Judge.
Any objections to the state's waivers?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Salinas, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 5, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, not grant you community supervision, and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 5?
Yes, Judge.
Court will find violation of condition number 5 true. Is there an agreement?
There is, Judge. We'd ask the court to enter an adjudication of guilt and revoke Mr. Salinas's probation and sentence him to 3 years in TDC. We'd ask that run concurrent with a case he has out of DeWitt County. The cause number I have here is 20-05-13, 302. That's the agreed recommendation we're making to the court, Judge.
All right, are you asking the court to follow that agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Salinas?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and you do understand with the conviction, as it was in the deferred adjudication for this case, there's an affirmative finding of family violence?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, then this is what the court will follow your agreement. As previously stated, the court is finding violation of condition number 5 true. Court will find you guilty, not grant you community supervision, sentence you to 3 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. This will run concurrent with the cause number out of DeWitt County. Cause number 20-05-13, 302. And there's an affirmative finding of family violence. Is there anything else from either side with regards to sentencing?
Your Honor, with regard to his time credits.
Yes.
The warrant on this MTR was issued in August of 2019. In fact, it was issued August 8th, 2019. He was taken into custody December of 2019 in Cook County. He's been in custody since then. But again, I don't know if I want to just make sure that he got credit for that amount of time since he's been in custody and this warrant was active.
All right, the court will give him credit beginning August 8th, 2019.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Salinas, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, Judge.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a felony conviction and because there's an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a question over what a weapon or an ammunition is, you'll need to speak with an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, with that, we'll go off the record. Mr. Salinas, you gotta do better. You understand?
Yes, ma'am. I understand.
All right, and I remember talking to you before, I think, because I remember the piercing that you say is medical.
Maybe.
You can't just pull it out, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, good luck to you. Do better, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. God bless.
Oh, thank you. God bless you too.
Have a good day.
All right, and on his case, he's received credit since August 8th, 2019.
Yeah, that's actually.
All right, do you have any, yes,
We're working on plate paperwork for Mr. Lamar.
okay, all right, thank you. That's gonna be a thing. All right, why do I have Roberto Martinez in my possession?
Yeah, just get it set up.
The no-show judge, for James Hunt.
All right, so, and where's Mr. Hunt?
He was here early this morning.
All right, let Mr. Hunt, he either needs to come back to court or he's gonna have to appear tomorrow. And Mr. Roberto Martinez, is that a bond corporation? Is that been issued for him or no?
No, not yet.
All right, so recall that for tomorrow, either tell Mr. Hunt he needs to come back.
No, we did not. Yes, just put it on.
So Joe Ray, still waiting for us. Now an extended week.
Okay. Yes, that's possible. Or 9:30. We'll be here for 9:30. Thank you.
Certainly feels like.
Okay, so said he hasn't had contact. She said he'd be here tomorrow.
Yes.
He said they offered him free travel.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm. All right. What, it's approaching now?
It's approaching, Judge. Tonight's the official weather. Oh, yeah, it's coming.
All right. This
Pick up
call
saying
for
like,
tomorrow.
make sure you have flashlights.
What, that's asking a lot.
They said it was supposed to like rain heavy on Sunday,
No, that's tonight.
but remember there's a severe thunderstorm like Saturday to Sunday. Yeah, that's what they said on Saturday, because that's why I worked so hard in the law this week. I was like, I'm on you, it's good use this rain.
No, but it is kind of the. You see?
Yeah, but this could go like this all of a sudden.
It's gonna go on your house.
Exactly.
So are we gonna have heavy rain
Yeah.
tomorrow?
Yes. Today and tomorrow.
Well,
Tomorrow and Wednesday.
well, everyone needs to drive carefully. Oh, no, I sent an email to you.
Which is why, again, I was doing.
Oh, I haven't got it yet. Judge.
Okay.
It's gonna take a while before I get it.
I don't, my neighbor does every once in a while.
All right, so we just have one case left, so we are gonna take a short recess while they get their paperwork ready. You guys not paying attention to what's happening.
Lupe, camera on.
You got it.
I thought it was Capital 12. Is it not?
Is that really the system?
Okay, I believe you.
All right, the court is calling 2022 CR 2868 and 2022 CR 2869. Bad parties announced for the record, please, for the state,
Brittany Sparks.
for the defense.
Mark McKay.
Defense, I'm showing you what's entitled discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in each of these cause numbers, and did you review them with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then in each of the cause numbers, the court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Lujan, I'm showing you in each of these cause numbers what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review those documents with your attorney? Did you understand them?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm gonna need you to speak up so the court reporter can hear.
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
I do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented in cause number 2022 CR 2868?
Judge, in one of them, we're waiving the repeater enhancement. The proceeding just on a third degree felony.
All right, so in 2022 CR 2868, you're proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Judge.
And then in 2000 CR, I'm sorry, 2022 CR 2869, you're waiving the repeat enhancement allegation. Any objections to that waiver?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Lujan, and cause number 2022 CR 2868. And in cause number 2022 CR 2869, I'm going to show you what's entitled court admonishments and defendants waivers and affidavit of admonitions. Did you review those documents with your attorney? Did you understand them? And did you sign them in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
In cause number 2022 CR 2868, you're charged with the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty of 1 less than 1 gram. The range of punishment for that offense is up to 2 years in the state jail facility with a minimum of 180 days in the state jail facility and a $10,000 fine. In cause number 2022 CR 2869, you're charged with the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1. Penalty group 1, 1 gram to 4 grams. The range of punishment for that offense is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And each of the cause numbers, if you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
In each of the cause numbers, you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call on the right to remain silent. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering into plea bargain agreements in each of these cause numbers, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into plea bargain agreements in each of these cause numbers?
Yes.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Judge.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
He does, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
He is competent, yes, Judge.
Mr. Lujan, has anyone threatened, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter these pleas?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter the pleas?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Definitely, yes, ma'am.
And are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
In each of the cause numbers, the court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. In each of the cause numbers, I'm showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review those pages with your attorneys and did you understand?
Yes.
All right, and cause number 2022 CR 2868. According to the plea bargaining agreement, there's no application. Your punishment is to be assessed at 6 months in the state jail facility. It's to run concurrent with 2022 CR 2869. In cause number 2022 CR 2869, your punishment is to be assessed at 2 years in the prison. There are no applications. It's to run concurrent with 2022 CR 2868. And each of the cause numbers, the following cause numbers are to be taken in consideration. County Court cause numbers 664-222, 664-221. The following night map numbers 658-872 and 657-5 556. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement in each of the cause numbers?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement in each of the cause numbers?
It is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement in each of the cause numbers?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Lujan, in each of the cause numbers, I'm showing you what's entitled paragraph waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it in both places?
Yes.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then, Mr. Lujan, in cause number 2022 CR 2868, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
And in cause number 2022 CR 2869, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, in each of the cause numbers, do you have any evidence to support the defendant's plea?
Yes, Judge. State offer states exhibit 1 and all attachments.
No objections.
Mr. Lujan, in each of the cause numbers, I'm going to show you documents entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review each of those documents with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes.
Again, in each of the cause numbers, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand that today in each of these cause numbers, the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements, police reports, lab reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes.
In each of the cause numbers, the court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. The court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, in each of the cause numbers, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty in each of the cause numbers. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
No, Your Honor. We just asked the court to follow the plea agreement.
All right, Mr. Lujan, is there anything you wish to say?
No.
All right. In cause number 2022 CR 2868, the court will sentence you to 6 months in the state jail facility. Give you credit for any time served. This will run concurrent with 2022 CR 2869. Take in consideration county court cause number 664222, 664221, NIMAC numbers 658, 872, and 657556. Is there anything else from either side with regards to sentencing under that cause number?
No, Your Honor.
And then in cause number 2022 CR 2869, court will sentence you to 2 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. This will run concurrent with 2022 CR 2868. Take in consideration county court cause number 664222, 664221, NIMAG number 658872, and 657556. Is there anything else from either side with regards to sentencing in that cause number?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Lujan, in each of the cause numbers, showing you what's entitled trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal. Did you review those documents with your attorney? Did you understand them and did you sign them?
Yes.
I'm sorry?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargaining agreement in each of these cause numbers, and because the court has followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal in either of these cause numbers. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And because each of these cause numbers are felony convictions, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes.
If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Brenda, we can go off the record. Mr. Lujan, if you have a drug or alcohol problem, now's your chance to get your life in order. Because if you come back here, instead of being a repeater for a felony, you're gonna be a habitual. In Texas, what that means is your minimum sentence is 25 years. You understand?
I do.
How old are you?
31.
You're getting close. You're not there. I'm already there, where more of my life is behind me than in front of me. When people sell drugs, it's not FDA approved. You never know what you're getting. You understand?
I do.
So get your life together. When you get out, there are plenty of places for you to get help. And you're gonna have to apologize to your brother for trying to use his name. Do you know how many clients that I've had as a defense attorney and how many times I've seen it as a prosecutor, where some relative is using their brother's name and picking up new cases? It takes a lot for that to be removed from their record. Your defense attorney can tell you that, because I'm sure he's had to deal with it before. So you're gonna owe him
Yeah.
some apologies.
Yeah, we made peace already, and thank you for reminding me, because, I'm gonna reassure him that won't happen again. So
All right,
I'm just gonna take this and move forward.
all right, good luck to you. I'm gonna expect you to do that, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Thank you. All right, everyone, we are done for today, so we will be back tomorrow at 9:30.
Judge, this doesn't need